Did you know that cartel-related violence in Mexico has surged by over 50% in just the past year? The recent arrest of Ismael El Mayo Zambada, one of the most powerful and elusive figures in the Sinaloa cartel, could be the catalyst that triggers a brutal turf war among rival cartels. Welcome back to the Real Crime Diary, Daily Dose of Crime. I'm your host, MHB, and today, we're diving deep into the life and legacy of El Mayo, a man who has outmaneuvered authorities for decades. This isn't just another headline. It's a seismic shift in the world of organized crime that could have far-reaching consequences. Before we get started, make sure to check out therealcrimemediary.com for in-depth articles, exclusive content, and updates on cartel dynamics. El Mayo Zambada has been a shadowy figure in the drug trade for over 4 decades, rising to power within the Sinaloa cartel, alongside figures like Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. Despite being one of the most wanted men in the world, he managed to evade capture for years, largely due to his strategic use of bribery, underground tunnels, and a network of loyal informants. His recent arrest marks the end of an era, but it also opens up a dangerous power vacuum that could destabilize the entire cartel structure. We need to understand the significance of this arrest. El Mayo wasn't just a figurehead. He was the operational mastermind behind the Sinaloa cartel's vast drug trafficking network. He orchestrated the movement of narcotics across international borders, laundered billions of dollars, and maintained control through a blend of diplomacy and calculated violence. With him out of the picture, rival cartels like the Jalisco New Generation cartel are poised to seize control, and the result could be a bloody conflict unlike anything we've seen before. El Mayo's influence was pervasive and multifaceted, extending across every aspect of the cartel's operations. From coordinating massive shipments of narcotics via aircraft, narco subs, and container ships, to his use of sophisticated methods like underground tunnels, El Mayo's ingenuity kept him one step ahead of law enforcement for decades. His connections with Colombian cocaine suppliers and his efforts to create distribution cells throughout the United States made the Sinaloa cartel a juggernaut in the world of organized crime. While his capture is being hailed as a significant victory for law enforcement, it might be just the precursor to a more chaotic and violent era. Rival cartels, sensing an opportunity, are likely to intensify their efforts to dominate the lucrative drug trafficking routes and territories that El Mayo had overseen. The Jalisco New Generation cartel, known for its ruthless tactics and rapid expansion, is already positioning itself to capitalize on this power vacuum. The ripple effects of El Mayo's capture are not confined to Mexico alone. The Sinaloa cartel's influence spans continents, with established networks in Europe, Asia, and Africa. These global connections mean that any disturbance within the cartel is bound to have worldwide repercussions. Disruptions in the supply chain could lead to increasing prices and turf wars, affecting drug markets across the globe. Moreover, El Mayo's arrest underscores the resilience and adaptability of these criminal organizations. While his fall is significant, history has shown that cartels often rebuild stronger and more covert structures in response to such setbacks. The next generation of leaders, although potentially less experienced, will likely be equally ruthless and determined to maintain their influence. The Mexican government and law enforcement are now faced with the monumental task of navigating the chaos that this arrest may unleash. With cartels jostling for power, regions already plagued by violence may experience even higher levels of brutality and instability. The government's ability to enforce the law and maintain order during this tumultuous period will be vital. El Mayo's arrest also raises critical questions about corruption and the complicity of officials. His ability to evade capture for so long was partially due to the deep-seated corruption that permeates various levels of government and law enforcement. Addressing these underlying issues is as crucial as tackling the cartel leaders themselves. In this high-stakes game of power and control, the arrest of El Mayo Zambada might be a turning point, whether it leads to a more fragmented and violent cartel landscape, or to significant collaboration between international law enforcement agencies aiming to dismantle these complex networks. Only time will tell. For more on this breaking development, and expert insights into what this power shift means for the future of the drug trade, be sure to visit therealcrimemediary.com. The arrest of El Mayo isn't just another crime story. It's a seismic event that could reshape the criminal underworld. Keep yourself informed, and don't forget to check out our exclusive articles and interviews on the evolving dynamics of cartel power. To fully grasp the impact of El Mayo's arrest, we need to look at his background and how he became such a dominant force in the Mexican drug trade. Born on January 1st, 1948 in El Alamo, Sinaloa, El Mayo grew up in a rural area where poverty was widespread. Like many in his region, he turned to the drug trade as a means of survival. He started out as a small-time marijuana trafficker in the 1970s, but quickly rose through the ranks due to his intelligence, strategic thinking, and ability to form alliances. By the late 1980s, El Mayo played a crucial role in the formation of the Sinaloa cartel, alongside Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo, also known as El Padrino, and Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. While El Chapo gained notoriety for his daring escapes and flamboyant lifestyle, El Mayo preferred to immerse himself in the shadows. Eschewing the limelight allowed him to evade capture for many years, giving him the freedom to focus on expanding the cartel's operations. Under his orchestration, trafficking routes stretched from South America to the United States and rippled further into global markets. El Mayo's influence within the Sinaloa cartel was unparalleled. He masterfully coordinated the production and distribution of vast quantities of cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, and marijuana. His strategic prowess turned the Sinaloa cartel into one of the most powerful and profitable criminal organizations worldwide. But it wasn't just his business acumen that made him successful. He was a master of corruption too, using bribes to buy the loyalty of politicians, police officers, and military officials. This network of well-paid informants and enforcers insulated him from law enforcement at every level. One of the most defining aspects of El Mayo's career was his low profile. Unlike many drug lords who revel in attention, El Mayo's reserved nature proved to be his biggest advantage. By staying out of the public eye and operating behind a veil of secrecy, he managed to evade law enforcement for decades. His clandestine methods included the extensive use of underground tunnels and sophisticated communication networks to move narcotics, money, and information. Adding to his cunning, El Mayo was also a masterful negotiator. He brokered alliances with various factions and cartels, including the Juarez cartel and Colombian cocaine suppliers. These alliances not only solidified his power, but also ensured a steady supply of narcotics, even during tumultuous times in the drug trade. One of El Mayo's most significant achievements was his ability to maintain control over the cartel even after the capture of El Chapo in 2016. Many expected the cartel to splinter without El Chapo, but El Mayo stepped up, ensuring that the Sinaloa cartel remained a dominant force in the global drug trade. His adaptability, diplomatic skills, and ruthless strategic decisions fortified the cartel's structure during one of its most vulnerable periods. In personal terms, Ismael El Mayo Zambada had a familial approach to his operations. He involved his family members in the business, leveraging their loyalty and trust to manage various aspects of the cartel's operations. His sons, famously known as Los Chapitos, and his daughters have all played roles in narcotics distribution and money laundering. Despite their involvement, El Mayo's circumspect management kept the family largely out of the limelight. Unlike other high-profile criminal families, however, the world began to close in on him. In recent years, technology and international cooperation between law enforcement agencies started cracking the facade of his impenetrable criminal empire. His capture in July 2024 in El Paso, Texas, represented the culmination of years of covert operations aimed at bringing him to justice. It was reported that he was lured to the United States under false pretenses, a stark reminder that even the most elusive figures can't hide forever. Before his arrest, El Mayo was reported to be ailing from diabetes, a condition that quietly weakened the once formidable drug lord. This, too, played into the timing and execution of his capture, proving again that no empire, no matter how shadowy or fortified, is immune to the ravages of time and relentless pursuit by justice. In summary, El Mayo's life is a testament to how intelligence, strategic thinking, and an uncanny ability to blend into the backdrop can make someone one of the most powerful figures in organized crime. His arrest marks the end of an era and opens a new chapter in the Sinaloa cartel's saga. His legacy within the Mexican drug trade is monumental, influencing not just the dynamics of illicit narcotics in the Americas, but also casting a long shadow over the realm of global organized crime. With El Mayo now in custody, the question on everyone's mind is, what happens next? The arrest of such a key figure is bound to have ripple effects throughout the criminal underworld. The most immediate concern is the power vacuum within the Sinaloa cartel. Although El Mayo's sons, known as Los Chapitos, have been involved in the cartel's operations, They lack the experience and strategic mind of their father. This could lead to infighting within the cartel as different factions vie for control. Rival cartels, particularly the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, are likely to see this as an opportunity to expand their influence. The Jalisco cartel has been aggressively expanding its territory in recent years, often clashing with the Sinaloa cartel in violent turf wars. With El Mayo out of the picture, these conflicts could escalate. That wraps up part 1 of our deep dive into the arrest of Ismael El Mayo Zambada, a pivotal moment that could reshape the entire landscape of organized crime. But this story is far from over. In part 2, we'll be exploring the aftermath of his arrest, the power struggles that are already brewing, and what this could mean for the future of the Sinaloa cartel and beyond. But here's the deal. Part 2 will only be released when this video hits 10,000 views. That's right, we want as many people as possible to be part of this discussion. So, if you found this episode insightful, if it gave you a deeper understanding of the dangerous world of cartel dynamics, then do us a favor. Hit that share button right now and get your friends, family, and fellow true crime enthusiasts to watch. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and ring the notification bell, so you'll be the first to know when part 2 drops. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. We'll be diving even deeper into the dark underbelly of the Sinaloa cartel, the rivalries that could turn deadly, and the global implications that are too important to ignore. And remember to visit theiralcrimemediary.com for more exclusive content, detailed articles, and the latest updates on this case. Let's keep this conversation going. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's hit that 10,000 view mark together. Stay safe, stay curious, and keep questioning everything. Until next time, this is MHB signing off from The Real Crime Diary, Daily Dose of Crime.